Hey there, Unsolved Mysteries fans, Wayward Legacy, back at you with another video. So, this case was requested to me by Graham Siddle. He's been a subscriber of mine for a little while now. I think since around the time I started this series. So, here you go, man. This is for you, and for anybody else who's watching that enjoys these videos. So, I'm going to get into it right now. I got the details of the case up in front of me. I guess I didn't introduce the case. This is a case of Joe Maloney. You know, I kind of know this case pretty good. I've seen it a couple of times, or a few times. Not for a while, but I'm pretty familiar with it, so here we go. So in 1967, 27-year-old June Maloney of Rochester, New York left her husband Joe on the basis that she had had enough of his vicious behavior. The breakup was apparently not handled soundly. A couple of months... Yeah, this breakup was apparently not handled well. A couple months later, he visited a friend, Neil Duncanberg, I believe is what the name is, an amateur chemist, and asked him if he could have some poison, which he claimed he needed to kill a dog that was going through his garbage. Neil did not allow Joe to use it, and was alerted to the fact that he may have had a more sinister motive than eliminating a dog. As a result, Neil ordered his wife, mother, and children to stay away from his basement lab unless he was there, and that no one was to be admitted without his permission, especially Joe. However, when they were on vacation, Joe was able to manipulate Neil's sister, who was house-sitting, in order to get the poison. 2 weeks later, June arrived at Joe's house for their son's 5th birthday party, and surprisingly, they both had been on good terms. He is believed to have given her a drink laced with poison. The next day, her friend Wanda Mordenga, I think her name is, arrived at her apartment to find Joe and a doctor there because she was ill. The doctor believed that she had had food poisoning, but Wanda believed that her illness was caused by something else. The next day she lapsed into a coma and was immediately hospitalized, but the doctors had no idea what the reason was. Joe tried to convince the doctor and Wanda that she was depressed and decided to commit suicide, which only added to suspicion, as most comas are not self-induced, but a naturally occurring bodily function. She never regained consciousness and died on June 5th, 1967, and an autopsy revealed that she ingested the same amount of poison taken from Neil's lab, and that the one in her system matched the chemical composition of the odorless, colorless one stolen from him. 4 hours after her death, Joe was arrested for her murder. On September 11th, 1967, he was convicted of first-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison. Pleading insanity, he asked to be committed to Rochester State Mental Hospital, which he was granted. What police nor the courts did not know was that he had worked there as a janitor and was familiar with the layout. On September 25th, 1967, less than 2 weeks after being admitted to the mental hospital, Joe escaped and disappeared. 5 years later, in Dublin, Ireland, police were called to investigate a burglary at the home of a man named Michael O'Shea, and asked to have his fingerprints taken to determine which ones were his and which ones were the robbers. The Irish police were stunned to find that they matched Joe's. However, because the United States and Ireland had no extradition agreement at the time, he couldn't be arrested in 1984. In 1984, Ireland had established full diplomatic relations with the United States, and Michael was arrested, still denying that he was Joe. In 1986, the law was voided. On July 25th, 1986, the Irish government released him from prison, and he has never been seen again. The results, wanted, he's still wanted. Today, Joe would be 81. When he was last seen, he was 6 foot tall, or 6 foot 2.5 inches tall, with blue eyes, red hair, and a slender build, and a scar over his right eyebrow. He is still wanted in the U.S. because his life sentence still stands and can't be reduced by his imprisonment in Ireland. Due to how much time has passed, the authorities are speculating that he might be dead. but this has yet to be confirmed. Okay, so, something that I want to talk about here is they didn't know that Joe, or the police in Rochester didn't know that Joe had worked there at the mental hospital, which he was admitted to. Uh, I think they should have did more investigating on that. Look, they should have looked more into his background, as well as I think I don't know if he was tested or not for insanity. I would think he would have been, but I think they should have did a more um, more thorough testing, to actually make sure that he wasn't just lying about his insanity, that he actually was insane. Uh, I don't believe he was. I think he was just saying that, which just to get in there, which is true. So he had used that as a plan to escape, obviously, and then went to Ireland. Now I would think, I would say he's probably passed on by now. Just with how much time has passed, and apparently he would be 81 today. I mean, it would depend on like how good of health he's in or whatever, or if he's in really good health or not. I don't know. He could be alive. He could be dead. I don't really know. But if he is alive, I would imagine he's probably still in Ireland. I would think, hiding somewhere. But I'm gonna lean towards that he has already passed on, because just from how much time has passed, and he would be 81 now. So I don't know. He could be alive out there. I don't know. But so yeah, if you like this video, give a like, subscribe, comment in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts and theories on this case. If you have any more cases that you would like me to do, send them to me and I will gladly do them. I enjoy doing it, just as I enjoyed doing this one. Yeah, I really don't have too much else to say, really. As usual, my Twitter handle and my PSN will be in the description if you want to follow me on Twitter and add me on PSN. And that's pretty much all I got to say for this video right now. And I'll see you in the next one. Wayward.